now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
So how did this whole journey begin? Where did your love for boxing begin?
Yeah, so I actually didn't start boxing until I was 24.
24, okay.
Yeah. My dad brought me down to the YMCA just to do it as fitness after I was done university. And then I just kind of my first boxing gym, and I thought, I think I should take an amateur fight and see how it goes. And now, 7 years later, here we are.
That's amazing. So was it kind of like so it was for fitness,
Yeah.
and then just became what? Did you just like beating people up or getting hit or something? Like how did that?
Don't
How
like
did that
getting
translate?
hit. Fun fact. Makes me pretty mad.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Honestly, it was weird. It was just something inside me that said, I think I'm kind of good at this. Maybe I should see where it goes and take it from there.
Oh my goodness! And look at this. It's amazing. I just saw on BoxRec, I think number 1 or 2 in Canada, and number 20. Are you in the US? Or
Yeah,
in the world?
and then I was just ranked number 4 with the WBA, so that's super exciting that we cracked the top 5. And then
Yes,
I'm
that is.
like top 15, I believe, with all 4 major organizations now. So
Oh my goodness, look at this. And that's what, in 7 years, what is it, 2023? 7 years, 6 years?
yeah, about 6.5 years I've been boxing altogether. So I did 3 amateur and I'm about 3.5 pro now.
Mikenna, that's good. That's really good.
Too.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. So do you think that your success has come from you just trusting your gut and really not looking back, just full steam ahead? Or is it more like team and placement or management? Like, where did your success come from, really? Like, how do you feel in your journey?
I mean, I feel like no matter what, I know boxing, it's just the individual there, but I think no matter what, you need the right team behind you to be able to make anything happen.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think the whole journey, like, I had my team in Canada and they brought me really far. They always believed in me. They pushed me to get to where I was. And now I've linked up with my team in Pennsylvania, and that's what's just pushing me to get to the next level. And I want to be a world champion. I want to be undisputed. Those are kind of always goals that I've had since I started this. I don't know where they came from, but
I love it. Did you watch?
I just woke up and decided this could be fun.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. It was just like, oh my God, I had this wild dream, and let me just do it. Let me just go for it.
Yeah.
So how about your amateur experience? Let's chat about that. Do you have amateur experience or a lot of amateur experience back in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I had 3 years amateur experience. Same thing as kind of the pros. I've always been really aggressive my entire boxing career and where I was going to. So, I mean, I fought my first nationals. I only had 7 fights going into it. And then, so in my first year and a half in the amateurs, I was ranked 2nd in Canada. I fought probably the top competition from Canada, and then the United States and Poland. So, I mean, it's not like I had an insane background in amateur, but the fights that I did take, they were against high caliber opponents. And that's what allowed me to just say, this is the next level.
Yeah, that's awesome, actually, because I mean, there's people with hundreds of amateur fights. And honestly, me personally, I mean, I'm not a boxer, but I feel like the wear and tear on someone's body after so many amateur fights, then to go into the pros, or people that start super early and then have all the wear and tear translate to when they're older. So in your position, I feel like this is like you have a really, really good shot at achieving your dream here. This is all the steps seem like they're aligning.
Honestly, I do. And I think the biggest thing is like, people really say how important having an amateur background is. And I do think it is, and I see where it is, but I think everybody's unique, like I feel like even if you look at male pros, like Tyson Fury didn't have a huge amateur background, and he is top of the world, right?
He's
But then
the
you see
Gypsy
guys
King.
like,
Yep.
but then you see guys like Lomachenko who had an insane one, and then he's still there too, right? So I think everybody,
Yeah, that's true.
it just depends how you develop and where you're getting to. So I think had I not developed as quickly through the amateurs that I did, I would have stayed there longer, but I was already reaching those peak levels very early on.
And congratulations on your last win. And so yeah, absolutely. So okay, you know what? Let's jump right into the juicy stuff here. But well, so I want to. You're 118 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a pretty deep division there of a lot of ladies that are. Yeah,
It's getting deep. There's some
yeah,
good competition at 118.
there is great competition actually. And the thing about it is, I feel like everyone is very, very aware of who they want to go for in that division, and very vocal about it too. So I kind of want to know what you thought about the division. What's your plans actually? Like, I want to hear your take on it.
So, I mean, anybody that has belt is going to be my top answer. That's what we're going for. We want to fight for a world title. So that's what it's going to be. I would love to, I'd love to fight Ebony. I think that'd be a huge fight. I think stylistically we'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been eyeing for a while. And then, I mean, Nina Hughes is a huge one. I'm ranked number 4 with the WBA. That puts me in a really good spot to be in contention with her. So she has that belt, and that's one that we're definitely aiming for very soon.
Oh wow! I spoke to her, and she's really sweet. She's really sweet, and but she has the same dreams as you.
Yeah.
You guys might have you guys are like exactly the same path. And I feel like you guys are gonna just bump into each other, and I think it's gonna.
I'd love to bump into each other with some belts on the line. Yeah, absolutely. Just a casual run-in.
Yeah, because I think her plan is she wants Shannon Courtenay, and if Ebony Bridges is still injured by October, I don't know who she's gonna go for. Maybe if it's not Dina Thorslin, maybe Mikenna Tansley.
Maybe.
I would love it.
I would too.
Okay. So talk to me about camp. Are you in camp because you have a fight announcement coming up?
Yes, I am. So I will actually be fighting May 20th at the 2300 in Philly.
Is this an exclusive that you just gave me right here?
Yeah, it hasn't officially been announced yet. So
okay, so
but
okay, so
verify I'm allowed to announce it. So,
oh, yeah. So, and I'm in New York actually, so I could even come to Philly, and it's only like awesome. 2.5 hours away. I'm coming. I think when is it? May 20th.
May 20th, yeah.
And I'm the first person that knew, right?
Yeah. Feeling good about yourself now, right?
I do. I feel great. You just made my morning great. Like, you want to stay active, but are you reaching a level right now where now things have to become more strategic? And because you're kind of in a great place right now, even with owning 7 fights. So maybe the chances don't have to be taken. Like maybe you could just go straight for your, for the belts now. What's your take on that? Like, and the next steps?
I mean, that portion I really leave up to my team to manage.
Okay, yeah.
They're extremely knowledgeable in what they do. So I just signed with King's Promotions with my last fight. So that was huge. Right. They've got a huge presence. They've brought a lot of big people up. I mean, they brought Alicia Baumgartner up, and they did an excellent job with that. So I have no doubt that they'll put me on the right track. We definitely, though, I want to be active. They want me to be active. You know, I fought twice this year already. We're fighting again in May. So it's that's
only half the year.
Yeah. And that's what we want. You know, that's how you get there. And then once you're there, maybe you start to be a bit more strategic, but getting there is still a build up.
Absolutely. And do you like fighting here in the US? Or where's your favorite place that you would ideally love to fight?
that I would love to fight. Oh, I've got like my top three. So Texas was in my top three. So that's awesome because I fought there once.
Yep.
I would love to fight in Vegas because I
Yeah.
guess in
Yeah.
Vegas you have to. I love fighting in the US. I think there's a huge fan base for it, right? So I fought actually a majority of my pro fights down in the US now, and I think it's
Yeah.
awesome. I love the
I think
Philly.
you should move
I
here.
love Pennsylvania. I do. I live here now.
Oh, you do live here. Okay, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations to that too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, all these new announcements. I love all these new announcements.
Yeah.
Welcome to the US. Have you sparred anyone that's a pro right now that you're looking to, that you would like to fight, or?
I mean, that portion, I don't know why it's been incredible, the sparring that I have got. So I mean, I got to in this area, I mean, I was sparring a lot of the top amateurs. Me and Leanna sparred before my last
Did you?
fight. We both had fights at the same time. Yeah. So we sparred. And then I actually head to Houston on Sunday to join Marlon Esparza's camp again. So that'll be my second time sparring with her down there.
This Sunday?
This Sunday, yeah. So I head to Houston for 3 weeks and my training camp will move out there. And I'll join her fight camp before she defends her world titles.
Wow. So you're fighting with champions here. You're in camp with champions.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
before my last fight too, we went out to Detroit for a week. So I sparred Alicia while she was getting ready to become undisputed, and then I sparred Sky Nicholson too. So
really?
yeah.
Tell me. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so oh, this is great. This is okay. So tell me something here. So your experience is really, really. I mean, you're front and center with the experience here, and
Totally. And that's what's awesome. I mean, maybe like I've had less fights than I know that I'll probably every fight I'm going into, I have less fights than my opponent just because I started so late. That's usually my reality. But I've made up for it in experience. Even when I turned pro, I mean, I turned pro on Jelena Marjanovich's undercard. So when she was defending her world title, so we sparred for my first 3 pro fights as well. So it's not like I haven't had those tough challenges with the top caliber females.
And yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm sure that you're absorbing a little bit from everyone. Who are? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who are some boxers that you did kind of look up to when you were starting your journey? What did you watch boxing? And I know female boxing is.
I did watch boxing. Like I really didn't get into boxing until I was later in my life. So I started a bit late. I mean, I've always loved Lomachenko. I love his style. It's wild. Females, Sinicia Estrada was probably the first female boxer that I saw that I was like insanely impressed with because I just thought her style was so cool. That's actually where I started to want to switch, was because she would switch and I thought it was like something that seemed different. So
yeah, a lot of I think like all female boxers really have a lot of respect for her. I love her. I mean, I think that she's amazing, amazing fighter. We've had Leanna, you've sparred Sky Nicholson, you sparred Alicia Baumgardner.
Yeah.
How did you do with Alicia?
It was good. I think it was good competitive rounds. She was in the zone. I mean, she's training to be undisputed, and it was like right near the end of her camp. So she was on fire, but it was awesome. And I mean, like, those are the moments that they push you and say, like, trust me, that whoever my opponent is, they ain't doing this right now. So
yeah, exactly. And how about Sky? How was that experience? I actually know someone that wants to fight Sky.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, she's incredible. She's like the most down to earth, awesome human I've ever met. So she's wicked, and her style's like so. It really makes you think the way that she fights in there. Like it's just she's a southpaw. She's taller. She's longer. So I really had to like force myself to think of different ways to go against her.
She is kind of she does have a long reach. Actually, how tall are you? 5'4"?
5'2". So
5'2".
short. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was. But you know what? Height doesn't matter at all. Honestly, no. I feel like height doesn't matter at all. Yeah. Like
I'll never forget. It was like my my 5th pro fight. I was fighting for like the WBIBA title. And the girl that I was fighting when I was in camp, they told me she was like 5'7", 5'8". I get to weigh in, she's 5'11", and I'm like, no. So literally I wore my hair in like a half bun so that we weighed in. It like didn't look quite as awkward how short I was.
Sometimes like being smaller, it helps out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Anthony Joshua has a lot of trouble with smaller opponents, and I think he would flourish with an opponent the same size as him.
Yeah.
Because they're just constantly punching downwards. But okay, so I mean that's interesting. And is this going to be the first time that you ever spar or help in the camp with Marlene?
No, I was with Marlene last summer as well.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
This is all like stuff that I probably would. I might even want to edit this out because these are like little secrets of your little like weapons. These are like little weaponry. No, there's something going on in the media right now that I don't know. It kind of is bothering me a little bit about Ellie Scotney and Sugar Neeks, their situation. I would love some feedback or your opinion or your take on that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really unfortunate for the girls. It's hard to say because it just came out. You have 2 girls who are deep in camp and preparing to fight on an insane undercard for female boxing, and because of politics, it got taken away from them. It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's boxing. You see it at all levels. You see it in men's boxing all the time, right? Why are a lot of the top guys not fighting each other? Most of the time, I think it has less to do with the fighters and more to do with some of the politics behind it. So,
you worked really, really hard for this. So I feel like that, everything's falling into place great for you. Now, let me ask you, people that are, coming up, what kind of advice do you have for them in a situation that you found yourself in early into your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's definitely a hard thing to break into, and for me, where I was fortunate is having the proper team behind me to allow me to break into some of these limelight situations. And then just, you have to utilize every opportunity that you get to build that momentum. For me, where my kind of turning point was when I fought Melissa, and I knew that was a tough fight that I was taking very early in my career, but I also knew that taking a risk like that, it was an educated risk for me. It was, I'm going to take this opportunity because I know that as long as I show up and I fight, there's going to be the right people watching it for me to push my career forward, right? So it was something that, from a standpoint of, one, I wanted the fight because I always want to fight. I want to take the big fights. I'm not afraid to fight anyone, but
I noticed. I love it.
Yeah. I also, for me, I knew that it was going to position me to where it was. So it's, not taking every risk because some of them don't make sense, but sometimes you need to take that big chance in order to get to that position, right?
Absolutely. And that early into your career, I feel like a loss doesn't, it wouldn't define your career. Like, how about upcoming fights? Do you watch every fight that comes on, like how we are over here in boxing Twitter and Instagram? We're like crazy.
I try watch as many as I can. Yeah. I definitely don't watch them all, but any of the ones that I miss that are bigger, I like to go back and watch later on. But.
And how about male fighters? Do you have any favorite male fighters, or some that you look to for style tips, and besides Loma?
Yeah, I mean, Canelo for sure. I have to say it. It's just, he's so adaptable. So it's just incredible to see how he's going to change up every fight. I like watching a lot of the lighter weight guys, just because I guess stylistically it would be more in line with what I'd be looking to pick up. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Teofimo Lopez. I think he's wicked. And then I think there's lots of big matchups coming up that I'm really excited to see as well. So.
Yeah, actually I am too. Do you travel to fights with your team?
I do. Yeah. So I was at Madison Square Garden for the female undisputed one, which was really cool to see that. So
We were there too. I was about to ask you if
awesome.
you ever been to New York.
Yeah, I was in New York for it.
Was that the first time you ever came to New York?
For that type of thing. Yeah, I went once when I was just finishing up university.
Ah, okay. And what did you think about that fight? That was amazing.
Yeah, I
Amanda
thought it was a
Serrano
great
and
fight card, from start to finish. So I mean, Amanda Serrano and Erica Cruz was just an all-out war, which was wild. Just
yeah, that
non-stop
was wild.
action.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
Alicia destroyed that fight, so that was awesome. And then the guy on the undercard that I really liked was I think it's like Richard Hutchin. Yeah,
Richardson Richards.
I was really impressed by him too.
Yeah, he's actually making a ton of noise over here, and he's backing up his words. He's from Brooklyn, so yeah, he is a native New Yorker, and I love his style also.
Yeah, he was
And
wicked
just
in
signing with
there.
Matchroom,
Yeah,
yeah, that's sick. That's sick. Okay, how about Tank and Ryan Garcia? Who do you think's going to take that one?
honestly, Tank, I think like he's definitely proved himself in there. He's a beast. I think he's going to be hard to take out by anybody.
And he is the definition of size or height doesn't matter. I feel
Oh,
like
100%. 100%.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so other than that, I ran through this a lot faster than I thought I would.
that's
I think
okay.
because I was nervous. I think I was nervous. You got me a little nervous.
Oh no.
But I just wanted you to at least leave because we do have a lot of young subscribers also, and any advice that you could give them. You know, a lot of changes in life when you're an adolescent going into, turning into an adult, making life decisions, career decisions, and just any advice that you could just leave my our supporters with.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably my two biggest ones would be one, to just let your life flow a little bit. I thought I had my life fully planned out. I was going to university. I have a bachelor design degree. I still have a full career in it, but if you would have told me that I was going to become a professional boxer, I would have said you're crazy. So honestly,
Life is crazy. Yeah,
life is crazy,
crazy.
and just you never know what the opportunities are going to be, but just let life flow and see where it takes you. And then the second one, it's kind of my motto with everything right now. Just don't let the hard times define you. So I mean, I was coming off of a couple losses and I was like debating if I should quit boxing. This is also, I haven't shared this, so you get another exclusive. There you go. But yeah, I was honestly debating if this is something I should still do. And then I told myself, I really still think I have it in me. And now here I am, where I have two insane belts that are putting me in positions to fight for world titles. So that's just kind of saying, there's no right path. And I think every good story has a little bit of adversity in it. So.
And you know what? You still have a long successful career ahead of you. So this is you just motivated me for the morning. I'm honest. I'm being honest. My life didn't go anywhere as planned at all, ever. Like it's never been planned. So I definitely agree with going with the flow and trusting your gut. Also, that's the biggest thing. And I'm a firm believer.
I had plans, trust me. I knew where my life was going, and then it just completely changed. But I mean,
what kind of
that defense, I still do have a full-time career outside boxing. Like I am the creative director at a company, so I run that full-time as well.
When you say you have a bachelor's in design, what kind of design? Fashion design?
No. So I did a co-specialization between visual communication, so graphic design, and then product, furniture, and medical design.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mikenna. Holy God.
Yeah. So I've actually done some really cool things. Like before I really got into boxing. So I lived in the Philippines for 6 months and I designed furniture over there. And that's where I was still like, I kind of like just boxed as fitness a little bit there. And then I decided I want to start fighting. So I came home. But then I've done some cool things. So I've designed like products for some top brand name companies before, on contracts and stuff. I've flown to China to do focus groups for them. Yeah. I've had a full career.
I can't believe you waited until the end of the interview to tell me all of this. Oh my goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
And now I
This
run
is-
the entire marketing division for a company that's based in Calgary.
What? Mikenna, come on. This is you're impressing me more and more as the minutes go by. This is crazy.
Yeah, so my
Really?
days are like very, very full. That's why like I say I don't catch every boxing fight because I work mostly like 7 days a week because I still work full-time hours and train
And then
full-time.
you train.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now let me ask you this. If you can answer it,
Yeah.
because there is gonna come a time where you might have to give one of them up. Just
You are
full focus.
defining what my pitch as a human has been. That's what somebody told. I was starting my own company the same time that I was starting amateurs, and people were like, "You're gonna have to choose between one or the other. Like you can't do both." And I was like, "I'm gonna prove you all wrong," and here we are.
But you're doing it. Yeah,
I
you're
am.
doing it.
But last year I did have a moment because I was doing that, and then I also was sitting on the board of an organization called Calgary Women in Energy. Because I work a lot in the energy sector. So adding that into it was just like, I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to start scaling back some things in my life.
It
But
sounds like you don't like to sleep.
no, yeah, I just like to do a lot. It's hard though,
Wow.
because I'm so passionate about both, right? And I don't know if I'm willing to give up one for the other.
See,
No, honestly, I think that where I'd get to is scaling. So I'm fortunate enough that I've got a company that's growing. So, we're starting to put the pieces in place because when I am in fight camp or it's fight week, I need to scale back my schedule now because fights are just too big and the focus needs to be there. So I'm really blessed to have a team that supports me and allows me to do that. So, and knowing that this isn't forever, I have probably 5 years left in boxing. We're looking at something like that. So then I still have a career and a life after boxing too, right?
Oh, you're super smart, huh? You just you you have a good plan. What are you talking about? You don't have a plan. You have a great plan. This whole thing is
I have a
strategically
plan,
planned here.
it's just changed. It's just evolved. I also just moved down to Pennsylvania, and I don't think you would have
That's
ever
right.
told me that about 2 years ago either. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
didn't
big
think.
thing. So it's just about being adaptable. Be adaptable with where life takes you.
Yeah, no, you're great. You're great. I'm a bigger fan than I was now. Now that
Thank you.
I really, yeah, no, you are great because it's always great to hear what's going on outside of the ring. I think that's what people, because you guys are like untouchable. You know what I mean? Like we see you on TV and we see you fighting, and we love you from just seeing what your talents on TV. And then people get curious and all this backstory of of your life is just it just makes it so much more. I guess it just organically blossomed into something that is amazing. I mean, you're gonna get you definitely have a lot of supporters, but you're gonna gain a lot more supporters as the years go by because you have a great head on your shoulders. Honestly, you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right,
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was great to
McKenna,
meet you.
absolutely. Thank you so much, McKenna. Take care.
Okay.
All right, best of
Yeah.
luck. We'll talk to you soon.